Honored to hand over the floor to you right now to tee up these lies, knock them down for everybody. I can't think of a better person to do it.
Oh, Jamie, thank you so much for not only asking me to be a part of this, but I want to thank all of you for taking the time to invest in yourself. And if you have not picked up a copy of Worthy yet, please pick up a copy. Please support Jamie and her mission to help you become the most confident, deserving, worthy version of yourself that you can. And, you know, I have been thinking a lot about the fact that you guys have been hearing from some of the most inspiring and extraordinary people on the planet. And so I thought, well, what after 10 hours could I possibly say? What story could I tell that could possibly inspire you any more than you've already been inspired and empowered by everybody else? And so I thought, I know. I'm going to ask you to hear from somebody you haven't listened to yet today. And that's you. See, the interesting thing about self-worth, being worthy and believing in yourself is that it's not just about this feeling. It is so much more about the doing. And all of the lies that Jamie writes about in her book that she tees up and she knocks them down, those are lies that keep you feeling unworthy. And what I have found in my life over and over and over and over again is that the battle with self-confidence, the battle with self-worth, it is actually won day to day by the actions that I take. That when I go up into my mind and I try to do battle with my thoughts, it is a dark and scary place. And so I want to walk you through an exercise because I am sure, just like Jamie is flying and just like everybody that has been here today is feeling crazy empowered, I am sure you are feeling excited and empowered and just can't believe like what could possibly be unlocked in your life when you tap into a sense of worthiness, when you start to believe in yourself. But I do not want you to leave this extraordinary and life-changing event without knowing what to do. And so that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to make you turn inward and hear from the one person that is going to be your ally from this moment forward till the day that you die when it comes to building confidence and building worth. Because the fact is, Jamie can build you up. I can build you up. You can sit in an event like this and be so inspired. But if you don't do something with all of this information, nothing will change. And so that's what I want to show you. I want to give you a roadmap for how you are going to, through your own actions every single day, you are going to be the one that proves with your actions that you are worthy, that proves that you do not believe the lie, that things like that don't happen to a person like me. Got it? Good. So the exercise is dead simple because you guys know I love things that are really simple. You need a pen. I like a Sharpie because I like to make a very thick point. If you don't have a pen, it doesn't matter. This is so easy. You don't even need a piece of paper. But I like to have a piece of paper because you can come back to it. Watch how simple this is. You're going to draw a line down the piece of paper. I didn't even do it in the middle. I mean, that's how lame I am tonight right now, guys. I did not even put it down the middle. And what you're going to do is on the left-hand side of the page, I'm just going to have you write the word of Jamie's book, Worthy. And now what we're going to do is this. I want you to just for a second, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to just kind of settle into your chair for a second. I'm going to take my sweater off because I'm starting to feel the hot flash coming. That's how you know it's live. And so you're going to settle into your chair. And as you close your eyes, let's take a deep breath together. And take as many deep breaths in your nose, out your mouth, in your nose, out your nose. I don't really care how you breathe. Just kind of settle yourself into your chair. And what I want you to do is I want you to time travel. Let's just say a year. It's a year from now. It's 2025. It's the end of February. And you picture yourself as the most confident, full of self-worth version of you. And as you see yourself in your life a year from now, there's no self-doubt. There's a tremendous amount of peace. There's contentment. Things aren't perfect, but you just have this assuredness that no matter what happens today, you can face it. And I want you to picture yourself getting up, getting out of bed. Notice what kind of day it is outside. Where are you? As you walk into the bathroom, you go to wash your face and brush your teeth, I want you to think about the person that you see in the mirror. And when you see him, you just see their eyes and you smile. Yeah, you really like the person you see. See yourself giving them a smile. And I want you to just drift into your day. What do you have for breakfast? What are you doing first thing in the morning? And allow yourself to just linger. Maybe you go to work. Maybe you're at home. Maybe you're sitting at a table and you're working on the book you've always wanted to write. And I want you to notice, what is that version of you? The one who does not feel like an imposter in their life? The one who feels confident? The version of you that likes yourself? Do you go outside and exercise? Are there people you're hanging out with? When you come home at night, who's the first person you see? Or maybe it's a pet that greets you when you walk in the door. What are you eating for dinner? How do you wind down your day? What time do you climb into bed? Just picture yourself in your life. What is the worthy version of you feeling and doing right before you close your eyes and you lay your head down on the pillow and you drift off to sleep? Is there someone next to you? Are you in the bedroom that you sleep in now? Has something changed? What do you dream about? And when the alarm rings and it's morning again, I want you to see yourself opening your eyes and doing it again. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Great job, by the way. You know, I love visualization exercises. I was not expecting music, so I was like, oh my God, is that happening in my head? What is happening? I'm really tired right now. I mean, is that like, who did that? I'm really magical if that's what's happening. I love visualizing yourself in the life that you can create in the near future. See, there is a portal in your mind that you can open where you can see yourself going through your day, feeling worthy, feeling confident. It is in you. It's one of the reasons why you miss feeling that way, because you can only miss the things that you know. And so the way the exercise is going to work now is, as you have drifted into a life where you're not listening to the lies that you're not good enough, you're not listening to the lies that it's not, you know, that things like that don't happen to people like us. You're not listening to the lies about your weight or how smart you are. You're just in your life and you feel worthy. I want you to start to describe on that left-hand side of the paper the details of a life where you do feel worthy. And there are details there. What time do you get out of bed if you have a lot of self-worth? What's the first thing that you look at when you have a lot of self-worth? How do you greet yourself in the mirror? What do you make for breakfast? Do you go outside for a walk and exercise? Your own life offers clues. And I don't want to belabor the point, because I want you to take some time and I want you to start to write down the details. What time do you go to bed when you feel worthy? What time, how much sleep do you get? And when you start to write down what life looks like for somebody who has a lot of self-worth, you're going to notice something. Wow, the actions of this person and the daily habits of a person that feels worthy, that doesn't listen to the lies that you've been telling yourself, that isn't beating themselves down all day long, that the actions that you take demonstrate that you care about yourself. They demonstrate that you prioritize your health and your well-being. They demonstrate that when you talk to yourself or you look in the mirror, that you don't trash yourself. See, so many of us are looking outside of ourselves for worth. And I want you to learn how to get it from yourself. And the fastest way to do that is to override the negative garbage in your mind and the lies that you keep telling yourself that make you feel miserable and stuck. You override those with your actions. Because you can sit there, it's amazing. You can sit there and tell yourself, I'm not a morning person. I've never been able to get out of bed. And yet, isn't it interesting? If you force yourself to get out of bed, your actions prove what you're telling yourself in your mind wrong. If you tell yourself all day long that you're lazy, simply arguing with you, I'm not lazy, I'm actually kind of, no, don't do that. Prove it. And this sounds kind of harsh, but the truth is, the fastest way, and I cannot emphasize this enough, and I know Jamie and I are going to dig into this, but the fastest way for you to start feeling the self-worth that you deserve is to prove it to yourself. And I think it happens faster when you write out the actions of what would it look like. Like if I can imagine my life a year from now, what does the future version of me do in a day from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed? And those actions literally show me that I believe I am worthy. I am worthy of a rock solid morning routine where I wake up and I don't pour my attention into social media. How do I know that's true? Because I see myself doing it. I see myself getting up. I see myself not looking at my phone. I see myself actually doing something that makes me feel better, whether it's a gratitude practice or meditation. When I walk into the bathroom, what do I see myself doing? And if you see yourself as the kind of person that washes their face and brushes their teeth and looks in the mirror and smiles and gives yourself a high five to start your day, that is a person whose actions demonstrate that you believe you're worthy of it. What do you see yourself doing next? Loafing on the couch, doom scrolling on social media, stress responding to emails? If that's what you see, then your actions are also demonstrating that you're a kind of person that is not putting your self-care first. And so I am saying this not to blame you. I'm saying this to tell you that the power is in your actions. The power is in your actions. And if you create a map on the left-hand side of the paper, and you start from the moment that you wake up to the moment that you go to bed, and you say, what does a person's day-to-day life look like who has high self-worth? And you will see that there is a clear map that if you were to follow that map as best as you can, and on the days that you don't, you don't. But a person with a lot of self-worth doesn't beat himself up. What do? They wake up the next morning, they get out of bed, they try to follow the map again. What happens is day after day, week after week, if you consistently get up and you consistently create this morning routine, the series of actions that set you up, if you go through your day and you do the actions of exercising. And look, I don't know what is on your list. And that's why I think it's really important that you start to look to yourself. What makes you feel like you are worthy? What does life look like if you are treating yourself in a way that is consistent with somebody that cares about themselves? And if you don't know what that is, then sure, think about, well, okay, somebody that has high self-worth, Mel Robbins, Jamie Kern-Lima, any one of the people that have spoken today, or Trent or Brendan that are coming next, what do I think their day might look like? And what you will see are a list of actions, and the actions demonstrate something. I personally think that talk is cheap. If you want to know what somebody truly believes, look at their actions. Look at their actions, because behavior doesn't lie. And here's the real zinger. Your behavior toward yourself doesn't lie either. And so if you can be honest with yourself and you can write down, what is it? A person, me, a year from now, if I can imagine myself living a life where I don't listen to the self-doubt, I don't listen to the lies, I don't feel like an imposter when I walk into a room because I know that, I belong in that room and I'm going to try. What does that list look like? And then here's how you complete the exercise. Write down what your life currently looks like and compare the two. And what I want you to do is I want you to pick a couple of the items under the worthy column, and I want you to start to practice them. Because every time, like this is one of the reasons why I am so, harsh is the wrong word, but I hammer myself. I hammer myself to get out the door every morning and exercise. Why? Not because I'm looking to have some sort of body that can fit into a bikini. That's not it at all. It's because every time I push myself to get out the door, and I do something that I said I would do, and I act like a person that cares about their health, it makes me feel worthy because of the action. I am proving it to myself. I am bigger than my emotions in the moment. I am bigger than my excuses. I am bigger than the lies that I tell myself that, convince me to not do the things that I know that I need to be doing. And every time I push past my own limitations or my own emotions or my own just limiting beliefs. You guys have been talking a lot about limiting beliefs today. When you push past them with action, you prove that you don't believe it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Have you ever been out for a walk and you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm so I don't want to do this. And then you keep going and then you keep going, right? You keep going. When you keep going and you push past it, your action proves something to the emotions in your body and the lies in your head. And so as you continue to listen to extraordinary speakers, and as Jamie and I tee up the lies and knock them down, I want you to come back to this list. What does the most worthy and confident and accepting version of you do from the moment you wake up till the moment that you go to sleep? And then the job becomes aligning your life now to look more like the left-hand side of the page. And the best part about this, you don't have to make any more money. You don't have to move. You don't have to make some drastic change. This is about how you treat yourself. It's about the actions that you require of yourself, because you know that self-worth begins not with what everybody else is doing, but with what you're doing in relation to you. That's what you have control over. And that's the fastest access point to you shifting how you feel about yourself, by treating yourself differently and seeing yourself doing it. All right, I see Jamie's back. Jamie, Kern, Lima, everybody.
Put your hands together for Mel Robbins! Woo! By the way, Mel and I just did an episode of the Mel Robbins podcast on the book Worthy that's out this week. You've got to check it out. It's next level. The number of messages I've been seeing on Instagram from people and just, it's incredible. So definitely check that out. And Mel, thank you so much. That's so powerful as always. And I want to ask you, just really quick before you hop off, this whole day so far, and we're still going. We are still going. But, lots of just beautiful takeaways from the day. And, you are one of the most profound habit experts in the world. So a lot of these people that are, new to this world and they're taking this all in. And so many of us want to know, what are a few best practices that we can do to make these habits stick in our lives?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. So there's two things. One is more of an intellectual point, Jamie, which is don't expect to feel like doing it. So let's just take a very simple example. Your life would change if you got up a half an hour earlier, and the second that the alarm rang, you use the 5-second rule. And if you don't know it, it's simple. Count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push yourself out of bed. That just gives you an extra 30 minutes. And then the most important thing is don't look at your phone. And the reason why I say that is because the second that you look at your phone, you give your attention to the world and to social media instead of reserving it for yourself. And I'm going to tell you something. If you were to take the challenge of setting your alarm 30 minutes earlier tomorrow, it sounds like a great idea right now. You're all excited. You've been with Jamie and everybody else all day long. The second the alarm rings, you are no longer going to feel tomorrow morning like doing it. And so this is rule number 1 with habits. You are not going to feel like it when you have to do it. You should expect that. Motivation won't be there. Empowerment won't be there. What will be there is a lot of resistance and negative emotions and a bunch of lies in your head. And when you feel all that tomorrow morning, because the alarm is now a half an hour earlier and you don't want to get out of bed, and then you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you force yourself to do it, you are now applying the formula I just gave you, which is you are proving to yourself that you are bigger than your emotions and bigger than your excuses. And you're proving it to yourself because the most important thing when it comes to self-worth is how you treat yourself. And if you are the kind of person that wants more self-confidence and stronger self-worth, you got to learn how to do what you said you were going to do, simply because you said you would. And so rule number 1 with habits, everybody, do not expect to want to do it and then do it anyway. So that's number 1. Second thing is, I am somebody who absolutely loves Post-it notes. So if you just have a little sticky note or a Post-it note or painter's tape, the kind that you can put on your wall that doesn't rip off the paint when you pull it off. If you have Post-it notes, this is what's called in habit research an environmental trigger. The world's worst thing to do when it comes to behavior change is to try to manage it up here. Because now we are going to be in the land of self-doubt. We're going to be in the land of trying to remember. We're going to be in the land of overwhelm. When you stick what you're supposed to do, whether it's drink more water or get out of bed 30 minutes earlier or take a break from my phone at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or go for a 10-minute walk first thing in the morning to get bright light in my eyes and to move my body. When you put it on a Post-it note and stick that Post-it note somewhere that you're going to bump into it, you're now triggering, it's a positive trigger, you to remember to do the thing. Now, let's go back to rule number 1. When you see the Post-it note, do you think you're going to want to do it? No. Nope. Special, like, let's take the walk. Do you know that they did research, Jamie, on habits, where they did this massive experiment where they wanted to know, okay, how long does it take to make a new habit stick? And the habit that they wanted to test in research was getting it to become a habit for somebody to take a simple 10-minute walk after dinner, okay? And that's fairly easy to do, whether you're walking or, you're rolling if you're in a wheelchair, just a 10-minute walk after dinner. And most people think that it takes you 21 days to make a new habit. And when we say make a new habit, all we're saying is that the behavior becomes so automatic that you no longer have any agita, emotion, or resistance to it. It's just like pouring a glass of water. You don't even think about it. So the researchers found that it took anywhere, get this everybody, from 18 days to 200, and I don't remember it, but it's like 240 days. The range was enormous. Why? Well, because you're an individual. And it depends on how much you hate taking a walk after dinner. If it's something that you kind of liked, you might have been in the group that doing it took about 18 days for it to stick. But if you're somebody that has never taken a walk, you don't like to go out after dinner, you don't like walking at dark, it's just something you hate, 240 days before it became something that was just automatic. And I'm telling you this because I think especially in personal development, there's so much hack of this and do that, that we get tricked into thinking that the change is going to be instant. And that's just not how it happens. It is about consistent, confident, and compassionate. And by compassionate, I mean, if you don't do something one day, don't beat yourself up. You're not a robot. So consistent, compassionate action builds confidence and removes your resistance to it. And it also, every time you do it, you prove to yourself that you can count on yourself, that you treat yourself like a kind of person that believes they're worthy of good treatment. And so the behavior drives the belief changing because your brain is paying attention. Your brain knows when you're doom scrolling. Your brain also knows when you put the phone down and when you push yourself to sit down and to do your gratitude practice at night, because that's what your version of yourself as the most worthy version of you does. And when you have a little Post-it note by your bed as like a note from the future you, hey, don't forget to do the gratitude practice. Now you're using the science of environmental triggers to make it easier. And so those are three kind of rules there. The first one being, do not expect to want to do it. That actually is proof that you're changing because you're plowing new neural pathways and habit loops into your brain and your body. That's why you're like, I don't like how this feels. Okay, so that's proof. Second, don't manage it in your head. Use the Post-it note. And third, remember that sort of walk after dinner, 18 days to 240 or something days, depends on how much resistance you have to it. And it's just about the consistent, compassionate action over time.
Woo! Mel